Hi guys, welcome back to ThorMotorWerks, the second channel, and on today's video I'm going to show you how to pick the door lock on an R50, R52 and R53 Mini. Now some of you may be sitting here thinking, why are you showing me this? Because it could mean that anyone could get into the car. Well, there's a couple of reasons as to why this might be beneficial for some of you, and I'll explain those as we get into the video. However, just bear in mind, your car will not start without a transponder in the key, so you can't really use this on ignition barrels. And secondly, if you use the remote fob to lock the car, using the key to open the door and opening it will actually set off the car alarm. So this really is only used for some niche situations, but I thought it might be worth showing you just something a little bit different. So join me after the intro and then we'll get into it. There was a little bit of doubt in my mind as to whether to show you how to do this or not, but there are plenty of videos already out there that demonstrate how to use these tools. So I'm going to show you, but the only part of this is just how to get the lock open. I'm not going to show you how to code the key. I'm just going to show you how to get the lock open and some scenarios where you may need this if you lock yourself out your car. I've actually had it before where the car has locked itself when it's running and the windows are done up. So obviously you can get into the car using one of these tools, or you buy a car, spares and repairs, or from a salvage yard and no keys are available for it and it's locked. Right, so the tool that we will be using today is a Lishi HU92 2-in-1 lockpick, and these are quite good for beginners. And you'll see that they are used on quite a lot of videos where locksmiths will go around and get people's doors open when they've locked themselves out their cars. And there's a variety of these for different makes and different models, but this is the one that you need for a Mini Cooper, Cooper S or Mini 1. But basically anything that's R50 to R53, this is what you need. And there's a couple of parts to it. So you can see you've got this section here, which is basically a tension bar. So I'll show you this in a minute how it works, but basically this will lift up and it will apply constant tension to the lock. And then you have these, basically these little rods here, and they move in and out. And I don't know if you can see on the end, let me try and zoom in a little bit. But on the ends here, these have little flat sections on, and they will basically move the pins up and down in the lock. So let me quickly show you how this works in function, and I'll show you unlocking the door lock off of a Mini that I've taken out recently, and you can see it in action. So join me in a minute, I'll set you back up, get some light, get a door lock, and I'll show you how it works. So this is a door lock out of a 2005 Mini Cooper S. It is missing its chrome surround, but basically the lock is the same. And what we need to do before we even do anything else is get some lubricant or some silicone type spray, and we basically put it inside the lock and just spray inside there very lightly, and we want to clean out any debris that's inside there at all, and that will flush out anything hopefully that will be causing us any potential issues. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put the Lishi in, and we're going to move it in and out a few times just to make sure that everything is clear, the pins are moving nicely. We want to be doing this probably about, I don't know, maybe 15-20 times, and then once we're happy that it's moving freely, we are then going to put some silicone lubricant into the lock, and that will basically lubricate the tumblers inside there. So in this case we're going to use some silicone spray, and that will help free the tumblers that are inside the lock. Silicone's probably the best thing to use for this if you can get hold of some, as it won't leave any residue behind. And then what we're going to do is run this in and out again a few times just to free up the tumblers as well. Now you can hear it's quite smooth in there. It is advisable as well that if you haven't, that you do occasionally lubricate your door lock. I know most of you are probably using the remote fobs, but when you need to use the key, you want to make sure that the key will actually work. And then at this point, this is where we can then start to try and pick the lock itself. Right, let me show you the Lishi in action then. Obviously we've sprayed our silicone inside the lock, so all the tumblers should be moving freely. We've obviously popped our Lishi in a few times to just loosen it up. So again, we'll just go in and out quickly, and then what we're going to do is pop it in. Let me just quickly adjust you slightly so you can see a little bit better. Now, what we need to do here is, this is a tension bar. So we're going to open that up, apply a little bit of tension underneath. Not a huge amount to begin with, just a little bit. And we're then going to go through the odd numbers on the bottom first. So, although it says 2468, what we're going to do is go in between those numbers. So, let me zoom in a bit so I can show you. And you can see there's a little arrow on there, and all we need to do is just gently pull it down to see if we get any movement. And then when we get to 3, you can see it's gone straight down. 5, there's a little bit of movement in the barrel there as well, it started to turn. And then 7. And each time that it pushes against the pin, we just apply a tiny bit more tension to it. So we've got 2, like so, 4, like so, and then there you go. So now you can see, if I put my hand behind it and to zoom out quickly, put this down so you can see a bit better. You can see if I move this bar on the back, which is just the rod that would go into the door regulator, that we now have movement, and we can unlock the car, get in, grab our keys, come back out once we're happy that we're in the car. So once the door is unlocked, you can just take it back out, and you heard all of those pins go back into the same place. So hopefully that will help you guys out. So guys, just to show you that the Lishi does no damage to the lock, I'm just going to hold up the bar in the back there, but let me put the key back in, and you can see it still works, turns freely, goes in, goes out. There's no damage done to the lock itself. You're purely just opening the car to get your key out and then going back to normal. That about wraps up today's video on how to use the Lishi 2-in-1 lockpick on the Mini R50, 52 and 53 generation cars. If you found that interesting, there are more how-to videos on the channel, and there are going to be more coming up soon. So don't forget to hit subscribe, like the video, leave a comment down below on what you want to see next. If you've joined us on the second channel but you've not seen the main channel yet, don't forget to go and take a look over there as well, because there are a few projects going on over there that may be of interest to you as well. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you all again soon.